Okay. Waiting for feedback. Sound is good. Video is good. Everything going nice. Okay, well, hello and welcome back, my Royal Rogues. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue, and we're back on another live stream. This time, well, we're gonna talk about Harry having to, well, pay up for some legal fees. And also, well, you know that in the UK had general elections today, and we're gonna be talking about that and the encounter of Keir Starmer with the King. So let's get started right now. I see your comments. Everything is going well. I think everything is running fine. Just have to hit that button and we are ready to begin. Where do we begin? Harry has to pay. And yes, some of you have said, didn't the judge already said some of that? Yes, but this is a new one. Another. So get this. Prince Harry's got himself into a bit of a pickle with this whole legal battle thing. It's like he decided to play poker with the media and forgot he wasn't very good at bluffing. And now he's stuck with a bill that's gonna make his royal piggy bank squeal. And this whole mess is about Harry going up against news group newspapers, NGN for short. It's been this long, drawn-out fight, and now the judge, this Fancourt guy, he's basically saying, Harry, mate, you're gonna have to cough up some serious dosh. And the judge decided that NGN won this round. Sort of. It's like they were playing a game of tug of war and NGN pulled harder, but they both ended up falling in the mud. NGN didn't get everything they wanted, but they got enough to be called the winners. So now Harry's gotta pay 2/3 of NGN's legal costs. I mean, I'm sure he's got some spare change lying around in those fancy royal couch cushions, but still it's gonna sting a bit. The funny thing is that this isn't even the end of it. They're gonna have another go at each other in court in January 2025. It's like they have scheduled a rematch, but Harry's already down on points. But now the judge, Fancourt, he went into this whole explanation about why he decided what he did. He's talking about successful parties and adjustments to orders, like he's commentating on a very boring game of chess. But basically he's saying NGN won, but not by as much as they wanted to. There's these two lawyers involved, Anthony Hudson for NGN and David Shorborn for Harry. I bet they're having a grand old time racking up those billable hours. That's what I call a win-win. And the judge seemed to think NGN was right to push for this decision now, even though Harry's team thought it was too early. It's like NGN said, we're tired of waiting. Let's get this show on the road, and the judge agreed. But here's the kicker. Even if NGN had waited a bit longer, the judge reckons they still would have had to do this anyway. So Harry's argument about it being too early, no, that went about as far as a lead balloon. And in the end, the judge looked at the whole mess and decided, yeah, Harry's gonna have to pay up 2/3 of the costs, to be exact. I bet that's gonna make a dent in the royal budget. Maybe he'll have to cut back on the avocado toast or something. But no, seriously, this is a pretty big deal. Harry's been fighting with the press for years, and this is just the latest chapter. It's not just about the money, it's about the principle of the thing. Harry's trying to stand up to what he sees as unfair treatment by the media, but it's costing him, both in cash and in public opinion. And it's not like this is happening in a vacuum. There's all sorts of royal drama going on, like the 60,000 signatures asking ESPN to do some kind of U-turn. And this is what I want to ask you, my roguies on the chat. Do you think Harry is really looking at this and having a change of mind? I know that I asked that question on my X account when it was around 15,000 signatures and we were pushing into 20,000, 30,000. Now it is going to reach 75,000, and I'm sure this is going to get to 100,000 signatures. Do you think this is going to do anything for Harry's conscience? I don't think so. I don't think so. Keeping an eye on your comments to what is your take on this. But this is not over yet, all this legal stuff. This is just one part of the case. They have still got the big trial coming up in 2025. It's like this was just a warm-up match, and the main event is still to come. And you've got to wonder, what is Harris thinking right now? Is he regretting getting into this fight? Or is he more determined than ever to see it through? It's not like he can just walk away now. He's in too deep. And for now, Harris got to deal with this bill. 2/3 of NGN's cost. And that's not going to be cheap. I wonder if he's got one of those royal credit cards with no limit. He might need that kind of card. Oh, well, no, many of you say that the petition is not going to change anything, sadly. Because, you know, you at least need a conscience for a petition to do something, for him to do anything. Yeah, he only thinks about himself. All right, in your comments, this petition will not change anything. Well, maybe it will not change, and I'm going to correct you. Maybe it will not change Harry's mind, but it will impact the public opinion. That will impact. I understand what you're saying. It's not gonna change his mind or Meghan's mind, of course, not at all. But it's gonna hurt in the public opinion. All right. Has anybody asked if Harry is okay? I wonder if he ever realizes just how ridiculous he appears. Yes, no, I don't think he has the self-awareness for that. But we need to talk about something that maybe is not a regular Royal Rogue fare, but it's something that is happening, and we need to talk about this just briefly. I'm going to make just a brief bird's eye view of what happened in election day in the general election day in the UK. In my limited understanding, I tried to get a nice brief of what's going on. My approach to politics is that, well, you know that I am center right, so anything that is center left, I can't give an opportunity. I asked you on X and I got very depressing answers, but I will try to be, at least in this section, I will try to be as fair as I could see of what is at least the plan of the Labour Party and of Keir Starmer. So the UK just had this big election and Labour's back in power after 14 years. It's like they've been on an extended coffee break and finally decided to show up for work. And the new guy in charge is Keir Starmer, and he's inherited a country that's, well, let's just say it has seen better days. It's like he's being handed the keys to a car that's been through a demolition derby. Now you would think that with a new party in charge, they'd be all about making big changes, right? But when it comes to foreign policy and defense stuff, it's more like they are just giving the same old song a new remix. They are still all in on supporting Ukraine, and they're talking about spending even more on defense. It's like they're trying to win a who can be tougher contest with the Conservatives. And Starmer's been working hard to make Labour look strong on defense. He's been going on about NATO and nuclear weapons so much, and you'd think he was auditioning for a role in a war movie. But jokes aside, It's actually a pretty big deal. When he became Labour leader back in 2020, the party had just had its worst defeat since 1935. So he's been trying to rebuild their credibility on national security and defense. And in their manifesto, Labour's promising all sorts of things. They want to do this big defense review, get closer to the EU on security stuff, but still keep NATO happy. It's like they're trying to please everyone at once, which, well, good luck with that. They're talking about spending 2.5% of GDP on defense, which is a lot of money. I guess they're planning to protect the UK from alien invasions or something. But it's not just about defense. They've got these grand plans for the economy as well. They want to set up this publicly owned clean energy company called Great British Energy. And sounds like a superhero name, right? They also want to take back control of the railways and come up with a new industrial strategy. It's like they're playing SimCity with the whole country. You have played SimCity, right? Now, Starmer, he's not exactly Mr. Excitement. He's keeping some pretty conservative policies, like not changing tax rates and wanting to reduce immigration. It's like he's trying to be a little bit Labour, a little bit conservative, a political chameleon, if you will. And they're also talking about making some changes to how democracy works in the UK. They want to reform the House of Lords, which is this unelected part of Parliament. They want to lower the voting age to 16, change some rules about voter ID. It's like they're trying to give British democracy an extreme makeover. And when it comes to Europe, Labour's doing this very awkward dance. They want to get closer, but not too close. It's like they're trying to friend zone the EU. They're saying they don't want to rejoin the EU's single market or customs union or allow free movement of people, but they do want to remove some trade barriers, especially for small and medium-sized businesses. That is nice. But no, all this sounds great on paper. But here's the thing, it's all just talk right now. They've got this massive to-do list, but they haven't even bought the pen to start checking things off yet. They've got to fix the economy, deal with the cost of living crisis, and probably figure out how to stop the UK from becoming the world's largest swimming pool thanks to climate change. And they've got to do all this while the world's going a bit crazy around them. It's like they've been handed the keys to a car that's on fire and told to win a race while blindfolded, and the car's also out of gas. But here's the serious part. Labour's got a big job ahead of them. The UK's been through years of political instability and chaos. The last few governments have been, well, let's just say they've been interesting. And now Labour's inherited this angry, impatient electorate that's ready to see their lives improve. The thing is, Starmer's not exactly a radical guy. He looks more like Labour light. He's keeping some pretty conservative policies, which is probably smart politically. On paper, that's what I understand, but it might disappoint some of the more left-wing Labour supporters. It's going to be interesting to see how he balances all these different expectations. But it's not all doom and gloom. Labour's got those interesting ideas like this great British energy thing that could be cool if they pull it off. And their plans for democratic reforms could make a real difference. Lowering the voting age to 16, well, that's I have my doubts about that. That is a pretty big deal. It's like they're saying, hey, if you're old enough to choose your own haircut, you're old enough to choose your government. Which, well, have you seen some 16-year-olds' haircuts? Well, in all seriousness, it's going to be an interesting few years. Labour's got this big mandate, but they also got big expectations to live up to. And the world's going to be watching to see how they handle it all. Will the UK become more influential on the world stage? Will they get closer to Europe again? Or will they keep focusing more on their relationship with the US? It's a lot to think about, and I guess that we will just have to wait and see how it all plays out. But one thing's for sure, it's not going to be boring. It's like the UK is starting a new season of a political drama series, and we've got front row seats. And let's just hope it's more The Crown and less Game of Thrones. But I wanted to talk about this because so many of you, my rogues, are from the UK and the Commonwealth as well. And in one way or another, we are all interconnected. That's like so many people say or tell me many times, why do you talk so much about American politics? You're not an American citizen. You don't live in the United States. Why do you talk about American politics? Well, for once, it's fun. It's like Meghan and Harry. I don't live in Montecito, and it's fun talking about them. I don't know them, and it's fun. And all these dynamics are interesting. And I have tried just to picture in this section to make it easy to understand what is Labour standing for, what is Keir Starmer standing for. And my idea is trying to make it simple. Okay? I am not saying that I'm guaranteeing that Starmer and the Labour Party are going to keep on their promises. Politicians usually don't. I usually don't trust any politician. That is the heuristic I live by. Maybe El Salvador, Nayib Bukele has proven me wrong. That guy is doing great things, but it's the exception to the rule. So in many ways, it's important to be like up to date with this kind of stuff. But we got a picture and we got a video of Keir Starmer meeting the king. I wanted to say a couple things about this. This is a photo. I first saw the photo and people were asking me, hey, Jesus, you need to analyze the body language of Keir Starmer with the king. And I made a mistake on my X account. I thought that they were meeting for the first time. I even tweeted that. I then corrected myself. Thank you, the British Prince, for correcting me on that one. In that this was the first time. No, this is not the first time they are meeting. But it was interesting that is the first time they are meeting with Starmer as Prime Minister. But we have a video, and the video is much more helpful if we take a look at this. Much more helpful. We see a couple of things here in terms of body language that I'm going to analyze. It's really easy, but I found it funny. Well, first, that the cameraman doesn't have any stabilization. Why do they do this? Why do they work with this kind of cameras without stabilization or anything? But they had this conversation, and the conversation went like, you must be utterly exhausted on your knees, the king says. Not much sleep, Starmer replies. Anyway, you're here, the king says. Starmer, it's a very quick change over, isn't it? And well, you tell me what do you get from that conversation. The first thing that I noticed, I'm going to point out my main observation here. I made this absolutely high-tech slide with the latest technology, with an absolutely not hand-drawn yellow arrows to point out a couple things. That Starmer was effectively invading King Charles' intimate space. You know that in body language we have this term called proxemics, in which you study the distances in which humans interact. We interact in these distances. We have our intimate space, okay, which is very close. It's like if you had your fingers extended in front of you, and you have just this personal space, which is the one that we use to talk. So Starmer here was invading. He put himself in the king's intimate space. That's a kind of an invasion of his space. That doesn't happen much in the UK. This could happen in other countries, like Latin America is quite normal in some countries more than others. In Spain, it's very normal that a man could stand very close to each other. That is part of the culture. But I haven't seen this in the UK, like men standing really close to each other, especially in a formal setting. They are so close. Starmer was so close to the king that you see that king was leaning a bit backwards. You see the legs of the king are straight, and the upper part of his body is like leaning backwards. Like you're too close, Paul. Why are you? Oh my God. Well, the android. If I begin to talk about the World Economic Forum, two things. I will not stop. And the second, I would get banned from YouTube. I would not enter those maybe in my body language guide channel, I could talk about that. And the other thing is the right here what happened with their feet is you see that Starmer's feet was inside that line. You see that this is like the frontier, like the limit of King Charles' foot, and Starmer had one foot inside that space between the king's feet. That was really odd. I said, I mean, what is going on? Is that a British thing? I know it isn't. I know for a fact that it is not. But this was very odd to watch. Let's watch the video. You can see the image, the first image again. Some were saying, is this kind of some mini curtsy, nano curtsy that Starmer was doing? I don't know, but he looked humble, looked polite, except for that invasion of the king's space. And when we see this, let's try to see this video frame by frame. I don't have a means to zoom in. We will have to be to watch it this way. As I get more adept with all this technology that I have, I could combine everything at once, and we will have much better lives. Right now, I cannot zoom in, but he bows down. He lowers his head as he enters. All right. And then extends his hand first. He looked very polite. He nods again. I think it was a nice encounter up to this point in which he is, you see that he is really close to the king, and notice what the king does. He leans a bit back. You see that? He leaned a bit back. Like, why are you so close? Why are you at this distance? The king did not. In fact, the king did. I'm sorry that it's so hard to see. Technical difficulties. I apologize. But you see, if you see right here, you keep your eyes here, you see that the king is gonna do a half step back, because he needs at least to turn his body a bit away from Starmer. Something that you do politely, that you will not just stand back or walk back away from the person, but you just do half a step back with one foot, so your body just pivots to one side. It's like this is way too much, and this is how Starmer put himself right into the intimate space of the king. That is a sign of dominance. Okay? You could ask me, Jesus, is Starmer doing this on purpose or is subconscious? I have no way of knowing it, especially because I haven't studied Starmer's body language. I need a baseline. I need to see him greeting other political figures, other people of lower, of higher ranks. That would be necessary. So that's how I I could tell you, oh, okay, he could be really polite when he lowering his head like this, entering, but this is an aggressive gesture. What is an aggressive gesture in and how can I say, what is an aggressive gesture in these terms? Is something that is done to display power, to instill power on the over the other person. Okay, again, I don't know if Starmer is doing it on purpose or it's subconscious. Maybe you can be a better judge than me on that, but that is extremely aggressive, and you're forcing the other people to back up, back down. I don't know what is the right expression, but yeah, you're forcing the people. It's like when you do this dominant handshake. Let me see if what kind of handshake is a Starmer. It's a very neutral handshake. Again, he enters really polite, bows, lowers his head, gives a full handshake, but neutral handshake. He keeps his eyes on the king, nods again, everything is good, but then stands in a way, and he does this other thing. I'm going to point out, I wish that you could see this. You see something which is very subtle, which is a bit hard to notice here since the Starmer is so close to the king. You notice who has, or the handshake is closer to what? The handshake is closer to Starmer's belly. Like the king has his hand a bit relaxed, almost extending, and Starmer has the handshake almost on his belly. Like he brought the king's hand to his belly, towards himself. That is another display of power. Why is it a display of power? It's very simple. It's like, imagine that you're in this big hall. Let's imagine for a moment. Let's use our imagination. Imagine that you're in the Middle Ages, right? And you are going to meet a king, and you enter the king hall, escorted, etc. And of course, the king is in the throne at the far end of the hall, and you walk escorted. You have no weapons, of course. They have to make sure that you're not gonna kill the king or anything. And you go to greet the king, and of course, let's make this kind of mix with today's customs. Let's imagine that in that era, people, it handshakes, things that it's not at all, but let's imagine for a moment that you're gonna shake the king's hand. Who is gonna extend the hand first? The king or you, the peasant? You are going to extend, you're going to extend the hand to the king, and the king is gonna receive your hand. If the king was receiving someone of importance, the king is going to make that deference and extend his hand himself first. Okay, so you're gonna have this deference. Always the person, let's say, with the less rank is the one who is going to extend the hand. Okay, who extends the hands first? That's why I'm telling you that it's a bit complicated. In business nowadays, I always prefer to extend the hand first, but you will bring the hand to you. Okay, you will bring the hand to you. You know, I know that you have seen Donald Trump do that. He extends the hand, but as soon as he shakes he locks in the handshake, he brings the hand of the other person towards himself. That is a power move. That is a power gesture, okay? That is something that you have to be on the lookout. Donald Trump does that. You know that he is always showing this displays of power, this high power displays. And this is something that Starmer is doing He's doing it much more like smaller or subtle, because he is so close to the king that it's very difficult to see that difference, right? But if they were at least one step further apart, then he could bring the king, the king's hand towards him, and it will look like the king is reaching out for him. And you would see what? That the king is reaching out for Starmer. Who will be the most powerful? Starmer. You understand the dynamic, right? I'm sorry that I did not prepare any other slides for this one, but maybe tomorrow I could fix that. I could fix that tomorrow and speak more of those dynamics. But yes, that's what I noticed. That's what I noticed in this approach. I don't think that Starmer was very friendly. I think he was trying to like make a statement, make a body language statement. Maybe it was on purpose. Again, I don't want to judge too fast. Although, I already told you my stance about central left and lefties. You know that politicians are usually train and practice these kind of things because they need to look powerful for the electorate. They need to look powerful on photographs. And by the way, when it's like you're a politician and you're going to take a picture with another politician, you will always make sure that you're on the left side of the photo. I will explain that to you at some point. That is very interesting to know. But it's always the politician who is in the left side of the photo always going to look more powerful than the one on the right. That's a nice dynamic. I remember that I analyzed a picture. The perfect picture of that was a photo between Barack Obama and Enrique Peña Nieto from Mexico. It was the quintessential example of that. But that's what we got. We got a bit of politics. We got a bit of body language today. Let's make it. Let's make it. I'm going to mention this, by the way. Let's make it this a bit more relaxed. Let's relax a bit tonight. I don't know. I didn't have time to prepare much more other content, so maybe we'll have like 5 minutes more and that's it. We could call it a day. You know that not every day is the same. Like not every day we see William on an electric scooter on Windsor, caught on camera, enjoying himself. Hey, that is nice. That is nice. Looking at William enjoying himself. How long until we see a photo from Backgrid of Harry on an electric scooter? I gave it 48 hours. 48 hours. You know that they have to mimic everything that the royal family does. So nice to see William like this. I have only 2 other things for today. Today we're gonna be. I'm still testing things. That's why I wanted to start at the same time. One of the things that I noticed with YouTube, I'm going to put this picture of Prince Michael of Kent for absolutely no reason, but one reason that I want to explain. But you know that YouTube has this bad practice that you are subscribed, but you don't get notified of my videos or live streams. And that is a shame. I know that it could be a bit difficult to hit on that bell that is beside the subscribe button. You sometimes don't even see the bell, or don't even have notifications on your phone, or for whatever reason you don't get the notifications. So I want to make sure that you watch the live streams at the exact same time every day, so you know at what time do they start. So that's why I made sure, even if I didn't have all the content that I should have for a full live stream, I wanted to start at the same time, so you know, okay, this is the time. of the Royal Rogues live stream, and that would be much easier because we get used to be here at the same time. And you know why I put this picture of Prince Michael of Kent. That tie, that Wimbledon tie colors. There was another tie. They're both out of stock. I will get one of them for me. That's for sure. That's for sure. One last thing before we part ways today. Well, two things. Maybe two things I have. Well, I want to answer some of your comments on of members of my channel. I want to some of you are members of the Royal Rogue, which is one level beyond subscribing, and I thank you. Like Naomi Hollingsworth, who has just become a member of the Royal Rogue. Thank you, Naomi. And some of my members have left these comments, and I'm going to, well, answer this question. I think you will look great in your bowler hat. The bowler hat is on its way. The next week we will get the bowler hat Royal Rogue. Then in a couple of years you can get a hat with a huge white feather. Can't wait to see it. I can an ostrich feather. I have to run after an ostrich to get my ostrich feather hat. Yes, I subscribed a long time ago, and today I was not subscribed, so I have subscribed again, and hopefully it will not happen again. Something that happens all the time. Thank you. And 9686, and the previous comment was from Nurse Pam S. And Ozzy Cozy. Oh my God, Jesus, your pronunciation or mispronunciation of the English language is what I love most about you. It's a huge part of your charm and makes me giggle when I need it the most. You're a beautiful man with a beautiful soul. Thank you, Ozzy. I would never remember. I still cringe at the way that I pronounced the word determined for like 2 years in my body language guy channel. Every time I remember those. If I ever see a video of the body language guy channel and I listen to myself saying determine, which is how I said that back then, I just want to get inside bed, put the covers on, and not wake up until the next day. I don't want to talk to anybody. It's so embarrassing, but it's like I am like that. It's like I cannot help it. I cannot help it. Diane Edwards, I hope you read my comment. You read my comment. I don't know which one is your comment. I'm gonna look for your comment. Which comment? You had, when is your bowler hat come? It should be come for next week. Right, you have so many comments, Diana. Which comment do you mean? Oh well, we have this. RGM 10A85. Hi, Royal Rogue. I think Serena pulled strings for them on this one because she is hosting the ceremony. Maybe she is hosting the ceremony of the SPs. But again, why would she be? Well, she is still friends with Meghan. She's still nice with Meghan. We don't know how Meghan treats her. Maybe Meghan still gives Serena the preferred treatment, you know, the one that Meghan only gives to her still friends, whatever. Jenny 9026, sooner or later, whoever is backing Harry and Meghan in America for receiving awards, regardless of public opinion, might see the light. They need to wise up. I know. I told you last year about this mysterious figure who was expecting the Harkles to well, be a bit more desperate to enter the scene. As I don't know if it's actually a billionaire, but I know that the net worth has to be more than 500 million. It's very heavy, and of course, many people know that there is still a lot of money to be made with Harry and Meghan. Those two, even in infamy, they drive headlines, and it's like the Kardashians. It's like the Kardashians regardless of what they do, they drive headlines. Maybe some say that they are fantastic at business. Well, they are more business savvy than Meghan and Harry, that's for sure. Or at least they know what kind of advisors they should keep around. But yes, many people still want Harry and Meghan because of the headlines they can pull, and not only Paramount for their premieres and their stuff. Patricia Berry, 8936. Chelsea broke up with Harry because of his drinking, getting naked in places. She had enough. I read that she posted a long time ago. She's married now with children. Yes, that's what we saw with Harry and all the stuff saying, claiming that you made me lose the love of my life. That was so nonsensical of Harry of doing that. Let me read your super chats. Audrey Jensen, looking very smart today, Jesus. Yes, I opted for a more monochrome, like all gray. I usually use color, but I forgot that I had never used this. I haven't used this tie in a while. I said let's go all gray. Let's go all gray. It's like Harry's gray suit, but upgraded with a vest and a tie and everything. Rita Book. Age needs these awards to look good on his visa. There is also a petition to cancel age visa on change.org. Check it out. If agree with the topic, please sign. Yeah, almost 70,000 signatures. Almost 70,000 signatures now. Very close. Oliver, I need you to explain this, Oliver. Why? I love Will, but tall men should not ride scooters. I need an explanation, Oliver. Tell me why. Like the Backstreet Boys song. Tell me why. Why is that? Why tall men? It is for, I don't know, safety reasons. Well, the handlebar looks a bit low on him. Maybe a couple inches, maybe 5 or 10 centimeters taller would be better. Maybe that's why, Oliver. Elizabeth Storm, night sideburns, totally like my 70s days. Love the look. Yes, I was born in the 70s. I didn't have the real privilege to live the 70s, but I love that throwback to that era. I'm more like an 80s, a child of the 80s, but I love that throwback to I don't know. I call that simpler times, but no time was really simple. There's so many things to do. So there was so many. I don't know. We were so naive as humanity back then. I don't know. I like it. He's testing it for George. He's testing it for George. Okay, Stephen Magnus says that due to stability, high center of gravity. I agree as well. It's a bit. He's really tall for that scooter. He should bend his knees, but that way it would be a bit uncomfortable, don't you think? The 80s were the fun years. Yes. I always thought of, you know, that there's Disneyland, there's Six Flags, there's all the stuff. I would like a theme park that was only like the 80s. Okay, a theme park that you are transported to the 80s, and you have to leave your mobile phone in a locker outside, and you enter. You have no mobile phone, and everything is the 80s. You give your mobile phone, and they give you a Walkman or something like that, and everything is like living in the 80s again. That I would do anything for a theme park like that. Maybe with all this stuff with VR headsets, we will get to live the 80s again, at least in a virtual reality environment. Why not? That would be a great idea. Sandra Johnson, I have subscribed and I got a notification. That is great, Sandra. That is great. Oh yeah, I'd go to that park and dancing all the time. Yes, you would have this permanent 80s soundtrack all the time. Oh my God, Prince William is not wearing a helmet. Well, maybe he knows what he's doing. Maybe well, after that hit playing golf, that's how he got his Harry Potter's scar. Maybe he knows how to avoid any hits. Harry, we don't know how many times he fell down when he was small. So that is a completely unreported. We can only see the aftermath in Harry's case. Oh, thank you, Diane, for that super sticker. Thank you. Oh, Jeanette, no, the 70s win hands down. Okay, Jenny has a very interesting question. When did you have a band? My question is, how do you know that I had a band? And yes, I had a band, and let me try to remember. I was in a band from 1997, if I remember correctly, to 1999. Nice time. I used to have this. I used to have a how do you say that? This this kind of bird, like it's like this. I had a bird like this. I didn't have my sideburns, but I have a bird like this. I play the electric guitar. We were a mashup of things. I don't know how we got together. Like the main brains behind the band was this guy who was eclectic, a very jazzy guitarist. The drummer had every kind of Latino influences. The bass player, one of my greatest friends, had this Dream Theater and every other jazz influences. And I was this heavy metal guy from Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, everything. I don't know how we made it work. We were together like 2 years. I should have somewhere a demo of a song I wrote. It's an instrumental, Passion, I called it. Very nice, very nice times. Oh yes, I had a quarter of a century. Oh my God. Why I want to say, why do I get in the live chat? I know that I said that I was going to start early, but this is so fun in so many ways. I just saw a comment. I am not going to highlight the comment, okay? In fact, I'm going to wait a few seconds until the chat goes just goes away. And please do not do anything against the person who made that comment, okay? That's okay. It was a polite comment. It was a very polite comment. I'm going to wait a bit until it gets in the in the stream of. Okay, I'm gonna say what that comment said. That comment said, "Please stop the lives." And I wonder sometimes that is something that I find baffling and humorous. I am not mad at all. Not at all. But someone, you see how paradoxical it is that someone writes in the live chat, please stop the lives, when they could perfectly just like hit stop or pause or just go like watch any other thing. Okay, I'm rambling right now. Every single one of you know that I'm rambling. We are okay with that rambling. If you don't like the rambling, that's okay. You have noticed, and this is for you, my wonderful rogues that are staying with me. Oh my God, this is going. We are gonna go for 1 hour in the end, but you might have noticed that I'm trying to make these lives be condensed on the information that I'm bringing you at the start. So you see a thumbnail, you see that I'm going to talk about Harry or Meghan or Catherine or William, whoever I'm going to talk about, and I make sure to start in less than 1 minute. I check sound, I check that everything is going on, and we start immediately. You know that I used to greet you, which countries were you watching from. I took my time, but I said, well, many people want to go directly into the stuff. I want to know what's going on, what is the gossip and all the stuff. So I said, well, let's do this. I'm going to condense the main topic at the very start of the live, and as soon as the topic has finished, well, you are free to go or stay. Okay? I'm delivering on the promise of what is in the thumbnail, because I understand that can be frustrating that you come from some kind of topic and you see that the topic never pops up. And some of you have said, hey, you never talk about this topic. No, sometimes it's that I had to elaborate on the topic so much along the whole hour that maybe you expected for me to say just a short 1 minute and just throw the fact and that's it, when it sometimes doesn't work that way. So for someone to say that, please stop the lives, I can understand that some of you prefer the shorter videos, and maybe some of you are expecting me to say something about the shorter videos. That is the format that I'm doing right now. Maybe I talk for 1 hour, maybe I talk for 1 hour and a half, but the first 15 minutes of my lives, it's like you're watching one of my shorter videos. And you saw that this live was about Harry having to pay for NGN's legal fees. And those were the first 10, 12 minutes of the live. Then I began to talk about general elections, and then we move on the other topics. So if you came to watch the first topic, the first minute, you got what you wanted. I delivered on the promise of the thumbnail and the headline. If you wanted to stay, you can stay. So again, it's something that I've always think about that. How can I make this work for literally everyone? And that's why I have begun to. That's why you see that I have this huge titles. You know that this topic starts now, and then we change the topic to labor wins in general elections, and I miss showing you this one. But this is this way that you know, okay, these are topic after topic. And then after the live has ended, I make sure to add chapters. So if you couldn't watch the live in its entirety and you want to know what were the other topics of the live, then like around 5 minutes after the live ends, you will see that I would have added the chapters, and every chapter would say what is the chapter, what every chapter of the live is about. That is I think that is a fair exchange, write, oh, I don't like the longer lives. You are not forced to stay. You are free to go. I love freedom. I love freedom. Yes, it's no. Oh, I don't want to. I don't want to do it. Maybe, whatever. Okay, but you want to watch one part of the live. What the main topic of the live is. My promise is that I will put that main topic up front. I will start that topic right on, and as soon as I change topic, you will see those huge letters as, okay, he changed the topic, and maybe you like the second topic, and maybe you like the third topic, and maybe after the live has ended, you like the first topic and the third topic, but you don't care about the second, and everybody wins that way. And everybody wins that way. I have a great time. I still have to make the perfect tech combination to give you the absolute best show on the planet about the Royals, and working on it. And okay, two more super chats here. Two more super chats. Sina, thank you, Sina. Favorite Royal Rogue, please. You just do you. Thank you, Sina. I just want to make the absolute best of the best, the most entertainment, the most dynamic, and bring you an every day at the same time. That is, I am not saying a promise, because sometimes things get in the way. Sometimes the live has to be half an hour, sometimes 1 hour later. But if you know that it's 1 hour later, it's because I'm giving you something really special. Lizzie, thank you, Lizzie. The button below Jesus that says See Perks is to become a member of the Royal Rogues channel. There are different tiers. You can choose one if you'd like to join us and support the channel. Thank you, Lizzie. Thank you for that. It can be confusing, the YouTube, the YouTube interface. Diane just had to send one more time. Next, I'll become a member. Thank you, Diane. Thank you for that super chat. And Heather, whatever. Rock on, Jesus. Yes, rock on. Oh my God. So many. There's another thing. I would like to listen to music with you, listen to songs. I don't know. So much to do here. But that is more or less the dynamic. Maybe at some point I would make some kind of trailer, some kind of like explain that this system is the one that works best for me in terms of my production pipeline, being able to bring this to you, and works for many of you that maybe want to just listen to me talking about these topics. Maybe you're cooking, or you are gardening. I don't know. You're busy. You're driving, and you just want to listen to me talking about this. I understand that, because that's what I do, by the way, with my favorite YouTube channels. So I want to bring that to you. And if you want the condensed topics, the hot topics, you will get them as well. That is my promise. Last super chat of the night. Emo, thank you for that. Thank you, and we're ready to leave because time's up. Time's up. Yes, they have an opinion, and I can understand. That's why I told you it doesn't matter. They could say stop the lives. If this was 2019, I would be smug, I would be arrogant and say I would do with my channel whatever I want. Who do you think I'm going to block you? No, I'm really past that. You already know. Many of you know, have stayed with me at the end of this long lives, that, well, I changed many of my ways in 2021 for many reasons. And, well, no, it's that everyone has an opinion. And in all cases, I try to make this shows the best, the absolute best for everyone. Sonia Patterson, Thank you, Sonia. Super chat lives are fun. We love them, and especially the interaction with the comments. With the comments is great. Is great. Okay, last question. Gabriela Gaitan. Jesus, do you know how much Harry's supposed to pay? I don't know the amount exactly, because I guess that NGN has to state how much are the legal fees, and Harry has to pay 2/3 of that. All right. Oh, you see, I was rambling. Oh my God, 1 hour. We have to say goodbye. 1 hour. The clock is ticking. You have the very best lives. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you for that. Can I highlight your comment? All right. All right. So, my Royal Roguies, my name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue, and until we meet on another video or another live tomorrow at the same time of today, remember the most important words: much love and bliss. Take care, because I love every single one of you. Bye-bye.